Danganronpa.
Last year, the Danganronpa games finally made it over to the West and quickly became must-own titles for PlayStation Vita owners. Based on their success, NIS America decided to localize the action-oriented side game in the series Danganronpa Another Episode Ultra Despair Girls. There won't be murders to solve or clues to find, but instead waves of Monokuma bots to blast and slash your way through. Another Episode's world has also been opened up to the size of a city instead of being confined to a school. The series' signature style is back, but does this new direction provide a ray of hope or a dark cloud of despair?
I've learned too much about the horrifying despair that always follows hope.
In Danganronpa Another Episode, you assume the role of Kumaro Naegi, the younger sister of Danganronpa 1's main protagonist Makoto Naegi. She's been confined to her apartment for over a year with no contact to anyone in the outside world. One fateful day, however, she's rescued by a familiar face and makes a run for it with a powerful megaphone weapon in hand. She quickly runs into Another Episode's main group of antagonists, the Warriors of Hope. This group of children's main goal is to annihilate every adult in Toa City and create a paradise for all kids that would call the city their home. This is the real kicking off point for the story and where Kumaro's adventure truly begins. The dark story elements that Danganronpa is known for are certainly here in spades, with plenty of wackiness to boot. On paper, the plot seems like it should be an interesting one worth playing through. However, Another Episode's story isn't without its faults. The biggest problem with Another Episode is that it doesn't know how to get to the point. Many times during story moments, characters will explain and over-explain certain elements. Oftentimes, characters restate the same thing several different ways or go off on irrelevant tangents. It's a real shame because when the story does get interesting, it's really good. Unfortunately, these moments simply don't occur often enough to hook you in any meaningful way. I personally really enjoyed Danganronpa 1's story and it hooked me all the way through to the end. I'm sad to say that Another Episode didn't have the same effect. For hardcore Danganronpa fans, there are enough cameos and fanservice moments to make the story worth experiencing, but the same can't be said for everyone else. Much in the way Another Episode's story doesn't live up to its full potential, the same could also be said for the gameplay. Instead of walking around empty corridors in a first-person perspective, you'll now be exploring a city from a third-person perspective. With the visual style making a surprisingly nice transition into fully 3D, Another Episode looks quite promising at a quick glance. However, it only takes shooting down a few Monokuma bots to realize that the gameplay doesn't match up. The shooting mechanics are a little wonky to say the least. While there is a laser sight to help guide your shots, it just feels imprecise. Compounding the problem is uninteresting design. Most environments are long hallways with enemy layouts you can see coming a mile away. There are also times when Monokumas pop out of nowhere and you barely have time to react. I suppose it's meant to be scary, but it's just frustrating since you don't have proper tools to deal with the situation. As Another Episode goes on, you do receive a swath of truth bullets that perform different actions, but once again, the design never properly takes advantage of these for interesting level design. You also have the option to play as Genocide Jack once you've filled up a meter. She has a more straightforward melee combat style that's enjoyable and easy to control. She's much more fun to play as and would have made for a great star in a warrior style game. Unfortunately, she can only be used for short spurts thanks to a meter that slowly depletes the more you use her. Another Episode does mix it up every once in a while with puzzle scenarios and boss fights. Some are more clever than others, but overall feel uninspired.
What's with that face? It's like you're looking at a pig. Did I look that weird?
On paper, Danganronpa Another Episode sounds like a great idea. Take the style and world of Danganronpa and create an action game with familiar characters. While there are hints of something special, the game falls flat on a whole. Story moments drag on far too long to be engaging, and shooting segments feel uninspired. I'd love to see what Spike Chunsoft could do in a sequel after having one of these types of games under their belt. Hopefully they can learn what works and what doesn't to create a tighter experience. If you've never played a Danganronpa game before, you'd best look elsewhere, but fans of the series should find something to enjoy in Another Episode. You might just need some patience to find it.